Artificial intelligence is changing everything, from how we work to how we live our lives, and Wall Street is all in. The biggest investors aren't just paying attention to AI, they're pouring billions into the companies leading this technological shift. But here's the deal. Not all AI companies are created equal. So which ones are the big players actually putting their money into? And that's what I'm here to answer. In this video, I will be counting down the top 5 AI stocks that Wall Street has its eyes on right now. I will show you the future projections of each stock, and in the end, I will show you a stock that's on track to 2x your investment by the end of the next year. Alright, before I dive into the top 5 AI stocks, let's talk about how I picked them. Because, let's be honest, there are tons of AI companies out there, and not all of them are worth your attention or your money. So what makes these top 5 stand out? First off, it's all about market presence. I'm looking at companies that already have a strong foothold in AI. These aren't some random startups hoping to strike it big. They're established players with serious track records. Next, I considered Wall Street sentiment. I didn't just choose these names at random. These stocks are backed by top analysts and big institutional investors. In other words, the pros are putting their money behind these companies, and that's always a good sign. Then there's financial stability. I'm talking about companies that aren't just riding the AI hype, but actually have strong fundamentals, solid revenue growth, profitability, and strong financials to back them up. And finally, the big one, future potential. AI is all about the future, right? So I focused on companies that are leading in AI development and have serious growth potential. Now that that's covered, let's jump into the countdown, starting with number 5. Intuitive Surgical, ISRG. Now, if you haven't heard of this company before, it's time to pay attention because they're the leaders in robotic-assisted surgery. Yep, I'm talking about surgical robots, specifically their famous Da Vinci system, which allows surgeons to perform incredibly precise and minimally invasive surgeries. All thanks to AI. Pretty futuristic, right? But why is Wall Street all over this stock? Well, first, healthcare is always a hot sector. And when you throw AI into the mix, it's even better. Intuitive Surgical has been using AI to make surgeries safer, faster, and more efficient. Their systems assist in performing thousands of operations every day, and hospitals are snapping them up. Plus, they're constantly innovating, which is why investors love them. Let's break it down with some key numbers. Intuitive Surgical has a market cap of $167.66 billion. In the past year alone, their stock price is up by 53.27%. And here's the kicker. Over the last 10 years, their stock has appreciated by 783.32%. That's a serious return on investment. Now, speaking of returns, if you've had invested $10,000 in Intuitive Surgical 10 years ago, you'd be sitting on $88,332 today. But let's talk about the future. Healthcare is always going to be in demand, and as the world gets older, there's going to be an increasing need for surgeries. Intuitive Surgical is well positioned to keep growing, and its AI-driven systems give it a serious competitive edge. If you invest $10,000 in Intuitive Surgical today, based on the recent one-year growth of 53.27%, you could be looking at a return of $15,327 by this time next year. But let's think a bit longer term. If we project forward over the next 5 years and assume a more modest annual growth rate of around 20%, that same $10,000 investment could grow to $24,883. So while it might not be as explosive as some other AI stocks, it's a solid, steady performer that fits well into a balanced portfolio. Next up on the list, at number 4, is the ServiceNow, ticker symbol NOW. You've probably heard of them. ServiceNow is all about cloud computing, and they're one of the top companies helping businesses streamline their workflows. But what really makes them stand out is how they're using AI to automate everything, from IT support to customer service. Wall Street is bullish on ServiceNow. In fact, they've given it a strong buy rating. And it's not hard to understand. In today's fast-paced business world, efficiency is everything. Companies are looking for ways to cut costs and get things done faster, and AI is the answer. ServiceNow's AI-powered solutions make it easier for businesses to automate tasks that would otherwise take hours or even days. That kind of time-saving power is a big deal, and it's why ServiceNow is growing fast. They have a market cap of $169.84 billion, and over the past year, their stock has gone up by 37.85%. And get this, over the last 10 years, their stock has appreciated by a whopping 1,239.13%. That's pretty incredible for a company that's still expanding rapidly. If you had put $10,000 into this AI stock 10 years ago, you'd be looking at a balance of $133,913 today. But what about moving forward? ServiceNow is positioned perfectly for future growth. As more businesses turn to AI to automate their processes, ServiceNow's products are only going to become more valuable. Whether it's in IT operations, HR management, or customer support, AI is going to continue playing a bigger role, and ServiceNow is at the forefront of that shift. So let's look at what a $10,000 investment today could mean. Based on their recent one-year price growth of 37.85%, you could expect that investment to grow to $13,785 in just 1 year. And if you're willing to wait a bit longer, things get even more interesting. Using the recent average growth rate of 24.17% over the past few years, that same investment could grow to around $29,570 in the next 5 years. Not bad for a mid to long-term investment, right? Coming in at number 3 is Supermicro, ticker symbol SMCI. If you're looking into high-performance computing, this is a name you should know. Supermicro is a leader in AI-powered computing solutions, specifically AI servers. Their hardware is what's powering many of the cutting-edge AI applications we see today, whether it's data centers, cloud computing, or edge computing. Supermicro's technology is right there, enabling businesses to process massive amounts of data with lightning speed. So why is Wall Street all over Supermicro? Simple. Demand for AI hardware is skyrocketing. As AI models get more advanced, companies need powerful servers to keep up. And Supermicro has positioned itself as one of the go-to providers of AI computing infrastructure. The world is leaning more and more into big data, machine learning, and real-time AI applications, and someone has to build the hardware to handle it all. Supermicro is that someone. They're not any other name in the market. They have a market cap of $22.63 billion, and over the past year alone, their stock has risen by 41.03%. And over the last 10 years, their stock price has soared by an incredible 1,380.69%. That's massive growth, and it shows just how much demand there is for the type of technology they provide. If you had invested $10,000 in Supermicro 10 years ago, that investment would now be worth a cool $148,069. Yep, you read that right, nearly $150,000. Not bad for a company that's mostly behind the scenes. But what about the future? With AI only getting bigger, the demand for Supermicro's AI servers and data center solutions is going to keep growing. They're not just a today company, they're a tomorrow company too. And as AI becomes more ingrained into industrials like healthcare, finance, and tech, Supermicro's role will continue to expand. Now, if you're thinking about investing $10,000 today, what can you expect? Based on their recent 41.03% growth rate, you could see that investment grow to $14,103 by this time next year. But let's talk about the long term. If we project out over the next 5 years and use a conservative annual growth rate of around 30%, that $10,000 investment would grow to $37,129. Now, I'm getting into some seriously exciting territory with Verve Holdings, ticker symbol VRT, at number 2. Now, this might not be a household name, but trust me, Verve plays a critical role in the AI ecosystem. They're the ones providing the infrastructure that makes all these data-heavy AI applications possible. Think of them as the behind-the-scenes powerhouses, building the data centers, cooling systems, and power management solutions that keep all those AI servers running smoothly. You might want to know why Wall Street is excited about Verve. Well, here's the thing. AI processing requires a ton of computing power, and that means more and more data centers are popping up all over the world. Verve specializes in providing the infrastructure to support those data centers, from ensuring reliable power to managing heat and cooling. Verve is like the engine room of the AI ship. As demand for AI grows, so does the need for data centers, and that means Verve solutions are only going to become more essential. The company has a market cap of $26.92 billion, and over the past year, their stock has gone up by a massive 86.71%. That's pretty substantial for a company that deals with infrastructure. And if we zoom out to the last 6 years, that is when they were established. Verve's stock price has appreciated by 618.42%. Not too shabby for a company that's not always in the spotlight. Now, what about if you'd invested in Verve 6 years ago, when it first hit the map? Well, if you had put $10,000 into Verve back then, you'd now be looking at around $71,842. But let's look forward. The future of Verve is tied directly to the growth of AI and the massive increase in data that's coming our way. More data centers mean more business for Verve, and with AI expanding into virtually every sector, healthcare, finance, tech, entertainment, The need for reliable infrastructure is only going to increase. Verve is in a prime position to benefit from this growth. So what happens if you invest $10,000 today? Based on their recent one-year growth rate of 86.71%, that investment could potentially grow to $18,671 in 1 year. Looking a bit further ahead, if we assume a more moderate growth rate of around 30 to 40% annually over the next 5 years, that same $10,000 investment could grow to $53,782. And here we are, at the top of the list. The king of AI stocks, Nvidia. If you've been paying any attention to the world of AI and tech, you already know that Nvidia is a giant in the industry. They're the ones who make GPUs that power nearly every major AI application out there, from machine learning to self-driving cars, and even your favorite video games. If AI had a backbone, Nvidia would be it. Here's why Wall Street is buying and loving Nvidia. For starters, their GPUs are essential for training AI models. Without the kind of raw processing power that Nvidia's chips provide, all the data-heavy tasks AI needs to run smoothly just wouldn't happen. From deep learning to neural networks, Nvidia's technology is at the heart of it all. Not to mention a jaw-dropping market cap of $2.52 trillion. Yes, trillion with a T. Over the past year alone, their stock has surged by 118.50%. But here's where things get really wild. Over the last 10 years, Nvidia's stock has shot up by a staggering 21,412.55%. That kind of growth is practically unheard of in the stock market, and it shows just how important this company is to the future of AI. Now, let's do some math. If you'd invested $10,000 in Nvidia 10 years ago, you'd be sitting on a solid $2,151,255 right now. That's the kind of return that turns people into millionaires. Nvidia isn't just growing, they're leading the charge in the AI innovation, and Wall Street knows it. But what about if you invest today? Well, based on their recent 118.50% growth, a $10,000 investment today could grow to around $21,850 in just 1 year. And here's the kicker. AI is still in its early stages, so Nvidia has plenty of room to keep growing. Now, let's take a look at the longer-term potential. If we assume Nvidia grows at a more moderate rate of around 50% annually over the next 5 years, which honestly is pretty conservative given their track record, your $10,000 investment today could grow to $76,890 over that time. That's a seriously strong return for a stock that's already performed so well. Want to get paid in dividends? Click the video on the screen to learn how a $7 daily investment can grow into a portfolio worth over $1 million, paying $5,000 in monthly dividends.